Part 1. The Outsider. Welcome to Part 1 of our story. It's a tale of mystery, of an outsider who arrived in our small town one cloudy afternoon. It all began when the townsfolk first caught sight of him wandering down the dusty road. His long coat billowing in the wind, he carried an air of mystery, a hint of sadness in his eyes. The outsider's arrival sparked whispers among the locals. Who was he? Where did he come from? No one seemed to know. But his presence stirred a curiosity that couldn't be ignored. Some feared his arrival, while others were drawn to his enigmatic aura. As days turned into weeks, the outsider became a familiar sight in town. He was often seen sitting alone on a bench in the park. Lost in thought, children would sneak glances at him, wondering about the stories hidden behind his eyes. The adults couldn't help but speculate about his past, his purpose for choosing their town as his new home. Despite the wary glances and hushed rumors, the outsider remained unfazed. He went about his days with a quiet grace, observing the hustle and bustle of the town with a sense of detachment. There was a sadness that clung to him, a weight that seemed to burden his every step. But there was also a kindness in his gaze, a gentle smile that would occasionally grace his lips when he thought no one was looking. The townsfolk couldn't quite understand him, but there was something about the outsider that tugged at their hearts. That made them wonder about the burdens he carried. One day, a storm rolled in, dark clouds swirling ominously overhead. The townsfolk hurried to find shelter. But the outsider remained seated on his bench, his eyes fixed on the churning sky. He seemed to be lost in his own world, a world filled with memories and regrets. And then, as the first drops of rain began to fall, something remarkable happened. The townsfolk watched in awe as the outsider stood up, his face turned up to the sky, arms outstretched as if welcoming the storm. And in that moment, the sadness that had weighed him down seemed to lift, carried away on the rain-scented breeze. As the storm passed and the sun emerged from behind the clouds, the outsider turned to the townsfolk, a soft smile playing on his lips. And in that smile, they saw a glimmer of hope, a promise of new beginnings. The outsider may have been a mystery, an enigma that could never be fully understood. But in that moment, he became a part of their town, a silent guardian watching over them with quiet strength and unwavering grace. And so, the outsider's presence, once feared and misunderstood, became a source of comfort and inspiration for the townsfolk. They couldn't explain the magic that he brought with him, but they knew that he had changed their town in ways they could never have imagined. And as they watched him walk into the sunset, his figure fading into the distance, they whispered a silent thanks to the mysterious outsider who had touched their lives in ways they would never forget. Part 2. The Revelation. In our last tale, we met the outsider, a mysterious figure in a cloak with eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 untold stories. The townsfolk whispered of secrets and suspicions, their minds clouded with uncertainty and fear. But today, dear listener, we delve deeper into the heart of this enigma. The outsider wandered the cobblestone streets, a silent observer of the world around them. Every footstep whispered a tale of longing and solitude, an echo of a life lived on the fringes of society. The townspeople watched from behind curtains, their curiosity tinged with an undercurrent of unease. As night descended, a veil of mystery shrouded the town. The moon cast an ethereal glow upon the empty market square where the outsider stood, bathed in silver light, and there, under the watchful gaze of the night sky, a revelation unfolded. The outsider raised their hands to the heavens, palms upturned as if in supplication. Suddenly, a soft, haunting melody filled the air, weaving its way through the stillness of the night. The townsfolk emerged from their homes, drawn by the otherworldly music that tugged at their souls, with each note that hung in the air like a delicate thread. The outsider began to dance. A mesmerizing display of grace and passion unfolded before the transfixed onlookers. It was a dance of sorrow and joy, a tale told through movement that touched the very core of their beings. As the dance reached its crescendo, a transformation took place. The cloak that had veiled the outsider fell away, revealing a figure bathed in starlight. The townsfolk gasped in wonder at the sight before them, for the outsider was no mere mortal but a being of light and shadow, a weaver of dreams and realities. With eyes that gleamed with ancient wisdom, the outsider beckoned to the townspeople, inviting them to join in the dance. And one by one, they stepped forward, shedding their fears and doubts as they moved in harmony with the mysterious figure. In that moment of unity and understanding, the barriers that had divided the townsfolk melted away, bonds formed by shared laughter and tears, transcending differences and grievances that had once seemed insurmountable. The outsider had become a mirror, reflecting the true essence of each individual back to themselves. And as the first light of dawn painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, the townspeople gathered in a circle around the outsider, their hearts overflowing with gratitude and awe, for they had witnessed not just a dance, but a revelation of the beauty that lies within every soul, waiting to be unveiled. And so, dear listener, as we bid farewell to this wondrous night, remember this: in the darkest of shadows, the light of truth and compassion will always find a way to shine through. The outsider had shown them the path to unity, and in that shared moment of grace, a new chapter began for the town and its inhabitants. May we all learn to dance in the light of understanding and embrace the revelations that lie in the depths of our hearts. And may the outsider's legacy of connection and acceptance live on in the souls of all who were touched by their ethereal presence. Part 3. The Turning Point. Now in Part 3, The Turning Point, our story takes a pivotal shift. The outsider we met before, once a solitary figure on the edge of a bustling town, now finds himself at a crossroads. The revelation that shook his world is still fresh in his mind, stirring emotions he thought long buried. As days pass, the outsider begins to see the world with newfound clarity. The once familiar faces that used to pass by him in a blur now seem to hold hidden stories of their own. He notices the laughter shared among friends, the smiles of children playing in the streets, and the quiet nods of understanding between neighbors. It's as if a veil has been lifted from his eyes, revealing a tapestry of connections he had long dismissed. With each passing day, the outsider feels a stirring within him, a longing for something more than his solitary existence. The once comforting solitude now feels suffocating, and he finds himself drawn to the vibrant bustle of the town. He watches as people come and go, their lives intertwining in a delicate dance of joy and sorrow. One evening, as the sun sets in a blaze of colors, the outsider makes a decision that will change his life forever. With a heart heavy with uncertainty and hope, he steps out of his familiar solitude and into the heart of the town. The streets hum with life, each corner whispering a promise of new beginnings and unexpected adventures. As he walks among the bustling crowds, the outsider feels a sense of belonging he never thought possible. Faces turn to look at him, some with curiosity, others with warmth, and in that moment, he understands that he is no longer an outsider looking in but a part of something much larger than himself. In the quiet of the night, under a canopy of twinkling stars, the outsider finds himself at peace. The turning point has come, and with it, a new chapter unfolds before him. The road ahead may be uncertain, filled with twists and turns, but he walks it with a newfound courage and a heart open to whatever the future may bring. And so, dear listener, as we leave the outsider to his newfound journey, we are reminded that sometimes, it is in stepping out of our comfort zones that we truly find ourselves. May we all have the courage to embrace the unknown, to turn the page, and to welcome the turning points that shape our lives in ways we never thought possible. Part 4. Building a Future. So, we've journeyed through the outsider's struggles, the revelations that shook the world, and the turning point where everything changed. Now, as we tread the path of Part 4, our story unfolds further, beckoning us to witness the building of a future. The outsider, once distanced from the heart of the community, now finds solace in the embrace of newfound allies. Their shared experiences have woven a tapestry of understanding, binding them in a common purpose. No longer standing on the outskirts, the outsider steps forward with determination, ready to contribute, ready to build. As the days unfold, plans take shape, ideas bloom and grow, nurtured by the collective wisdom of those who once walked disparate paths. Each voice, once a solitary whisper, now joins a chorus of hope and unity. The outsider's perspective, once misunderstood, now shines as a beacon of innovation, sparking new ways of thinking, new ways of living. Challenges emerge, as they always do, but where there were once obstacles, now stand opportunities. The outsider, fueled by resilience and courage, faces each trial head-on. With unwavering resolve, they navigate the uncertainties of tomorrow, guided by the light of shared dreams. Through collaboration and perseverance, foundations are laid for a future brimming with possibility. Bridges are built where walls once stood tall. Bonds forged in the fires of adversity grow unbreakable, shaping a world where differences are celebrated, not feared. With each brick laid, each story shared, the outsider becomes an architect of change. Their presence, once questioned, now heralds a new era of inclusivity and understanding. The future they help build is not just for themselves but for all who dare to dream of a world where acceptance reigns supreme. As we draw nearer to the conclusion of this tale, remember that the journey of the outsider is not one of mere survival but of transformation. From a solitary figure on the fringe to a cornerstone of a brighter tomorrow. Their evolution is a testament to the power of resilience, compassion, and unwavering belief in the human spirit. So, dear listener, as we prepare to embark on the final chapter, let us carry with us the lessons learned in the building of a future. For in the outsider's story, we find reflections of our own untapped potential, waiting to be unearthed and embraced. And in that realization lies the true essence of growth, of progress, of lasting change. Stay tuned for the culmination of our journey, where destinies intertwine, and the threads of fate are woven into the rich tapestry of Part 5, A New Dawn. Part 5, Reconciliation and Closure. As our story nears its end, we find our characters facing a crucial moment in their journey. After all the trials and tribulations, after all the growth and change, it is time for reconciliation and closure. The outsider, once isolated and misunderstood, now stands at the threshold of acceptance. Through courage and understanding, bridges have been built where chasms once loomed. The revelation that once sparked fear and uncertainty has transformed into a beacon of truth and connection. The turning point, a pivotal moment of self-discovery and change, has led our protagonist down a path of growth and transformation. They have shed old fears and doubts, embracing a new sense of purpose and belonging in the world they once felt so alienated from. And so, we arrive at the present, where the foundation has been laid for building a future filled with hope and promise. Bonds of friendship and understanding have been forged, anchoring our characters in a newfound sense of unity and purpose. But reconciliation is not merely about coming together, it is about healing and forgiveness. It is about acknowledging the scars of the past while embracing the possibilities of the future. It is about finding closure for wounds that have long festered, finally allowing them to mend. In this moment of reconciliation, our characters confront the pain and misunderstandings of the past with open hearts and minds. They extend forgiveness where it is needed, offering a hand of understanding and compassion to those who have hurt them. Through this act of reconciliation, wounds are healed, burdens are lifted, and a sense of peace descends upon our characters. The shadows of the past dissipate, making way for a brighter, more hopeful future. And as our characters embrace closure, they find a sense of completion and fulfillment that has long eluded them. They release the weight of the past, allowing themselves to step forward unencumbered by regrets or resentments. In this final chapter of our story, we witness the power of reconciliation and closure to transform lives and relationships. We see how forgiveness and understanding can pave the way for new beginnings and deeper connections. And so, as our characters stand on the threshold of a new dawn, we bid them farewell with hearts full of hope and gratitude. May their journey inspire us to seek reconciliation and closure in our own lives, knowing that healing and forgiveness are the keys to unlocking a brighter tomorrow. Part 6. Legacy and Leadership. As we enter Part 6 of our journey, we find ourselves at the heart of our story, legacy and leadership. It is here where the threads of the past interweave with the promise of the future. Where choices made will echo through the corridors of time. Our protagonist, once seen as the outsider, now stands at the threshold of greatness. The revelations that once shook their world have become the foundation upon which they build their legacy. The turning point that demanded courage and resilience is now a distant memory. But its lessons remain etched in their soul. As they look out at the horizon, they see not only a future filled with possibilities but also a responsibility to lead with wisdom and compassion. The scars of the past have healed, leaving behind a strength forged in the crucible of adversity. They have embraced their role not as a ruler, but as a shepherd of hearts, guiding others toward the light of understanding and unity. Their journey has not been easy. marked by challenges that tested their resolve and character. Yet, with each trial overcome, they have grown more resilient, more compassionate. The shadows of doubt that once clouded their path have given way to a clarity of purpose that illuminates every decision they make. The legacy they seek to leave is not one of grandeur or power, but of empathy and connection. They understand that true leadership is not found in the command of armies or the accumulation of riches but in the hearts of those who choose to follow. And so, they lead not with an iron fist but with an outstretched hand, offering guidance and support to all who seek it. Their leadership is not defined by titles or accolades but by the impact they have on those around them. Through their actions, they inspire others to rise above their own limitations, to strive for greatness in the face of adversity. They are not afraid to admit their mistakes, to learn and grow from them, setting an example of humility and integrity for others to follow. As our story draws to a close, the legacy of our protagonist is secure, a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. Their journey, fraught with challenges and triumphs, serves as a testament to the power of resilience, of leadership born not from privilege but from the depths of the human spirit. And so, we bid farewell to our protagonist, knowing that their story will be passed down through the ages. A reminder that true leadership is not about the individual but about the collective journey toward a better tomorrow. May their legacy endure, shining brightly in the tapestry of time.